Sorry about that. So now the purpose of these calls is to create a space for community leaders to convene in a COVID-safe way with the intention of helping members of the public to understand and support efforts to respond to the coronavirus crisis by providing weekly updates from key agencies, including ways that we can all pitch in and lessen the burden for each other. These weekly meetings happen every Thursday at 9:30 a.m. This is the second week that we've begun to live stream these calls on our city Facebook page. And if you are watching this live on the city Facebook page, please do share this video, share it on your group pages, on your different Facebook pages, on your personal timeline, share it far and wide. We want to ensure that the information that we're disseminating on these calls is being reached by as many people as possible. We realize that there's a lot of information going on, and we're trying to streamline and get everything in one place so people really understand what's going on with our different organizations. So these meetings will be recorded. So if you are not watching it on live stream right now, they will be recorded after the fact and published on our city Facebook. It will be published again on our city Facebook page. It will also be published on our City of Peekskill website, as well as broadcasted on our government channel throughout the week. Every week, we will be rotating stakeholders to give the public the ability to hear from a variety of agencies, as well as from different departments here at City Hall. But today, specifically, we will be hearing from Toby Pigeon from Feeding Westchester. We have our department head, Jonathan Zamora from the Peekskill Senior Center. Today we have Cortland Town Supervisor Linda Puglisi, Reverend Phillips from HRH Care, Superintendent Dr. David Mauricio from the Peekskill City School District, Department Head Tuesday McDonald from the Peekskill Youth Bureau. We have Dora Ocha from Voces Latinas de Westchester. And last but not least, we also have our Assistant Fire Chief, Kelly, from the Peekskill Fire Department. So thank you all so much for taking the time to join us and share these very important updates. Now I will kick it off to our Deputy Mayor, Vivian McKenzie, who is joining us and will be starting us off with some welcoming remarks.
Good morning, everyone. I'd just like to say thank you and hope everyone is staying safe and healthy in these unprecedented times. The city would like to thank you for participating in these calls and bringing this important information to help our residents traverse through these problems and know what kind of options are available to them. So again, we thank you very much and thank you for your participation. Vanessa?
Thank you so much, Deputy Mayor. Thank you so much for jumping on this call and joining us. So we'll go ahead and get started. We'll start off with Toby. And I also forgot to mention, if for the folks who are watching live stream, our city manager, Andy Stewart, will be taking questions from the comment section. So as people are given updates, feel free to ask questions. We'll get to those after the stakeholder who is giving their update finishes, and we'll try to get through as many as possible. Can't guarantee we'll get through all of them because we do need to get through all of our panelists, but we will definitely try our best. So starting off, we have Toby from Feeding Westchester. Toby, thank you so much for joining us.
All right, just unmuting. So thank you again for having me, and good morning, everyone. Just look at a quick update of where Feeding Westchester is and what we're doing. But first of all, Feeding Westchester is Westchester's food bank, and we supply food to over 300 partners in normal times throughout Westchester. And all these partners are dedicated to fighting food insecurity. During the COVID-19 pandemic, of course, we've opened up our doors to many other partners and municipalities to work with us, and have a lot of new great partners to help fight this. So currently, Feeding Westchester is focused on really getting food to communities and to each community and every community in Westchester. We have streams where we distribute food through our normal channels, which be our food pantries, our soup kitchens, and others. We have new pop-up sites that we have worked out with different municipalities, different schools. The Senior Nutrition Center in Peekskill is a great partner. We're also still continuing to increase and update our mobile food pantry program, which is basically a food pantry a refrigerated truck on wheels that is able to bring refrigerated fresh produce and frozen meats and other items to each community where we need. Some of the challenges that we're dealing with, I think everybody can understand. We have to be really aware of our social distancing as we do these distribution programs, and definitely asking all community members who do attend any of these distributions to try to stay at least 6 to 10 feet apart, of course, if there is a line or if you're waiting, and just be respectful for everybody in the line while you are waiting. Right now, another challenge is just because of this pandemic, we've seen the need in food go up, or at least doubled as much this year, or this month, I'm sorry. So we normally do, say, 1 million pounds that we distribute each month. We are close to the 2 million mark just in April alone. So we know that there's a need and we're trying to respond the best way possible. Something I wanted to point out and make really clear to everybody, especially in Westchester, is that we have food. The food bank has plenty of food. I know we see a lot of stories on CNN and other news stations where other food banks are running out of food, but we have been really blessed and lucky, and we have a wonderful staff here who have supplied us with a good deal of food. We have a nice stock and plenty of food to go through for many more months, and we'll continue to serve Westchester. And one of the focuses that we're moving to is more fresh produce. We've had a lot of requests from different community members about more fresh produce and more perishable items. So the food bank with Feeding Westchester will be mixing in many more fresh produce and other items like that with normal distributions to get more food out. And all this is really going out to the great partners like with the City of Peekskill. And I want to thank them again for being a really creative partner. They've created more of a hub and spoke system where the Senior Nutrition Department has really become the main contact, receives deliveries, picks up deliveries each week, and actually packs the bags on site with all the partners I'm sure on this call too, and then actually gets to deliver those packages to many other agencies in the area of Peekskill. So working all together has been really streamlined the business and helped Peekskill to distribute twice as many pounds as normal. Currently, I believe I'm looking here, I believe Peekskill currently has distributed a little over 25,000 pounds of food each week to the community. I know Jonathan, I think who's be speaking next, wants to figure out some ways for us to even distribute more to those in need, and we'll be working on that. And just a last comment, I guess, to close. Throughout all the Westchester communities and areas and cities, Peekskill is one of the 5 top distribution sites in the county. So I just want to say congratulations, and that's because of all the great work of everybody on this line, working together and communicating and really being the best distribution partners possible to serve the community. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Toby. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing those updates. Does anyone on the line have any questions? Toby, actually, I did have one question. Something that had come up, and Cynthia Knox isn't on today's call. She'll probably, from CHOP, she'll probably be on next week's call. But she did mention that the food that is being distributed from Feeding Westchester isn't, sufficiently meeting the demand that we're currently seeing in the city of Peekskill, and that, in a sense, all these different organizations who are kind of working on food distribution are almost competing against each other. Is that something that exists? Is there a way to kind of coordinate that better, or streamline that better for us to so folks are kind of getting what they need, or what is the capacity of Feeding Westchester in terms of, like, if you need more food, if we're seeing a higher demand?
Absolutely, no, great questions. I would hate to see all of us compete against each other. I don't think that's happening. Something that Jonathan, I'm sure will speak to next also, is that each week we worked on really trying to meet the demand of the community and get more food into Peekskill each week, whether it is more of a variety of food or if it's more fresh items such as produce or frozen meats. So we have been working with that. Jonathan's had some great ideas, even has brought on some new partners to do distributions from at different points during the week. So I think every week we're learning something new. This is unprecedented, right, on how we're dealing with everything. But every single week, I think we learn something new and develop a new flexible strategy to reach even more people. My team of agency relations is also reaching out to all of I'll call it our normal food pantries, such as with Cynthia and CHOP, and they will be absolutely happy to work one-on-one with them to help them navigate our inventory on what items are available and how to best order them and get them to their site when they need them. If we do have any agencies who see that need increased capacity, I do ask them to reach out to us so that we can work with them.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Councilperson Agudelo, this is David Mauricio from the City School District. I just wanted to say a very special thank you to Toby and his Feeding Westchester team. They have been phenomenal partners of our school district. They work with Maria Flores, and they have brought thousands of pounds of food into our schools, and our families are really appreciative of that effort. And we use the food as a mechanism to share out information, instructional packets, books, new supplies, and so it's really a great draw, and then we get to give information and academics to our families. So thank you so much, Toby, and thank you to your team.
Thank you.
Andy, do we have any questions in the comment section? I think you're muted.
Hold on one second. Okay, so there's a great question from Pat Taylor. And the question is there a way for homebound people to get food?
It's a really great question. We have updated our website for having a new map or new list of agencies who do home deliveries. I'll be honest, we don't have a ton of agencies that do home deliveries, but we do have a good number of them. I'd really suggest everybody check out our website and look at the agency locator page. It's found under the Find Help section. And you can find the closest food pantry, home delivery, soup kitchen, meal program, whatever it is you're looking for on that map in your area. And I believe also Jonathan may have a couple solutions too that he's been working on, is actually doing with some home deliveries to seniors and maybe some other households also. We're looking for more partners. If anybody's out there who would like to do home deliveries or has the availability to do more home deliveries with us, they could really appreciate them to reach out to us, because we know that's a population that we need to reach more of. And of course, to keep social distancing and people out of the public, we want people to stay home and be safe, but have food too.
I think it would make sense for Jonathan to speak for a minute to the status of the home delivery in Peekskill.
Absolutely.
Jonathan, do we still have
Yes. Yes. Good morning. Yes, so we have a number of different mechanisms. First, I'd just like to thank Toby for being such a great partner in Feeding Westchester to the city of Peekskill, not just in the senior grocery program, but also the mobile food pantry and some of the other initiatives that were spoken about just a few minutes ago. So we are working with a number of different organizations. The one that we, specifically speaking to the homebound question, is Ride Connect. So the way our program works is we provide a lunch meal for the senior population, and we understand and acknowledge that it's not meant to meet the complete need of seniors. So what we've done is partnered with Ride Connect and other distribution points throughout the city, like CHOP and the Peekskill Rotary, who assembled grocery bags for seniors that are picked up and delivered to homebound individuals by the Ride Connect volunteers. So this is a 100% free service. There's a couple of ways to get groceries to those in need. My suggestion is to call the Senior Nutrition Office at 914-734-4250, extension 2. Leave a message with your name and contact information, and we can certainly pass that along to the Ride Connect office, and also give a call back to see exactly what it is, how we can best help you. So to that end, our department continues to deliver meals on a regular basis and has seen a significant increase in program participation. We are utilizing best practices as outlined by the Westchester County Office of Senior Programs and Services, and are working with other community partners to help bring additional food to the population.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Did you want to go ahead and also share any other updates you had from the senior department?
Yes. So if anyone watching is or knows a senior facing isolation during this difficult time, we have a program that is here to help. So the Westchester County Department of Senior Programs and Services has created a new version of its telehealth intervention program for seniors. It's called the Tips in Touch program. So older adults who opt in will receive regular phone check-ins from a TIPS social support associate. Seniors whose responses may indicate additional need will be connected with any number of services available to them, from food delivery to emergency care. Again, to register for this free program, please call the City of Peekskill Senior Nutrition Center, 734-4250, extension 2, and leave a message with the individual's name and best contact phone number, and we will pass along the information to the TIPS program office. That's one of the main challenges we're starting to see evolve with the program as this pandemic continues, is programs like ours also offer some social stability and an outlet for seniors to come and communicate with their friends and just be involved more actively. So this Tips in Touch program helps connect seniors in need to people who can offer support and help. We have our staff members as well going and making in-person visits, sort of practicing social distancing, at least 15 feet away from the senior and just having a quick conversation. It's been very well received, seeing a friendly face, again, doing so safely, and of course with the senior's permission. For the individuals who are not comfortable with a personal conversation, we can certainly meet them over the phone, again, just to kind of follow up and reminisce about old times. And again, we are very hopeful that we can reopen as safely as possible and get back to normal.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, for sharing that really important program. It's great.
Sure.
Did we have any questions for Jonathan or Toby?
I'm not seeing any questions. I will say that there are 30 people watching on Facebook right now. Just jumped to 32. So
Great. Well, keep sharing this post, and we'll hopefully get more people watching. But thanks everyone for tuning in. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to our next panelist. Next up, we have Cortland Town Supervisor Linda Puglisi. Linda, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, Vanessa, for inviting me. It's a real pleasure to be here with my good friends from the city of Peekskill, our good neighbors. And so thank you to the mayor, deputy mayor, to the city manager, to my good friend, Reverend Phillips, who we've known each other for years, and to all the other panelists. I found the food bank segment very, very fascinating and extremely positive for our community, Toby. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. First of all, our hearts go out to all of those who are recovering and suffering from this coronavirus, and to the families who sadly have lost loved ones. And this is something that we were not expecting, obviously, and we've all pulled together. And that's why a Facebook program like this is so important, to disseminate information to our residents and our families. So I'd like to walk you through some of the things the town of Cortland has done over the last almost 2 months now, by the way. And what I'm talking about is what every other community has stepped up to do as well. So we received executive orders from Governor Cuomo early on, and every local community has been following those orders, and they trickle down to the county executive and then down to the local municipalities. So certainly Andy Stewart and Mayor Rainey knows about all of them. And the purpose for all these executive orders is that we are doing it together and have continuity, and to not spread the virus is the underlying goal of every single edict, order, recommendation that comes out of the state, the county, and then down to the local level, and we disseminate that to our residents, of course. The virus is highly contagious, as everybody knows. It's been very difficult to stay at home, not be able to go into work for the most part, working remotely from home. And it's changed our lives that we cherish. It's getting nice out now. Everybody loves going outside, having family picnics and going to Little League and things like that, playing soccer, and it's tough for the children. Very difficult not to be able to go outside and have recreation, and for our seniors. So we've been doing a lot of things with the youth and the seniors and through virtual activities. However, our residents, and I know likewise in Peekskill, are resilient. They've adjusted, and I tell them every week in a phone message that we're in this together. It's not a cliche. We are in this together, and that we will get through this together, and we will. That is my message and other notices that I give out to the citizens of the town of Cortland, 32,000 of them. The senior center was closed first as one of the orders from the governor. And that, of course, because at the beginning it was saying that the virus just attacked the elderly, the seniors. So we closed the senior center immediately. And we do have staff there. And then we have the delivery of the nutrition lunches that the city of Peekskill helps us with, of course. So that's important to bring those meals out to the citizens that are in need and are homebound. Then came the youth center. We have a youth center down by the Cortland train station. And as this evolved and we learned that it could also affect young people also, we wanted to make sure that there was social distancing at our youth center. So that center was closed. And then came Andy will remember, the executive order for the essential, non-essential workers, corporations, businesses, municipalities to implement. So we had to discern what the difference is as essential, non-essential. Obviously, sanitation pickup is critical, so that was essential, and of course is going forward. My office, so that people can contact me at my office, and I have employees that rotate in the office one a day to abide by the social distancing rules. And then, of course, the tax office is essential. We all know that. And controllers, assessor, and water, and others. And then the rest are working remotely from home. I do have department head meetings weekly, and I'm on calls constantly with our key workers to keep the government moving, and it is. Even though that they may be working remotely from home, they're all available and providing the services. And if you contact their office or send them emails, someone will get back to you as soon as possible, that's for sure. We've developed many virtual activities for our youth and seniors, online by staff. They had baking contests, they have Zumba, all of those fun things, and they're doing it in a virtual manner. And people have been pleased with that. Immediately, we established a separate website for COVID-19 to give out information that we've accrued to our residents. And then we have a page for translation into Spanish, which is so important for our society. A separate site just to assist our local businesses was developed by our town board member, Jim Creighton, and our economic consultant, George Uros. And we work closely with the Chamber of Commerce, Deb Malone, and her staff. And then we put up a list of delis and restaurants that are still available for takeouts. That was really important. So we did some of these things early on, and constantly we are adding to them. In the same vein, we're posting many messages and notices daily, if not multi-times during the day, using the various forms of social media, Facebook, Instagram, websites, as well as code red calls when appropriate. We've made individual phone calls to our senior citizens that are members of our senior clubs. We have about 300, 350 wonderful seniors in those clubs. So our staff has reached out individually to them just to check in and just to ask them if they have any needs that we can help with. And of course, any senior or family member of a senior can contact the office at 914-528-1572, 528-1572. Someone will get back to them and assist any senior family member who has a senior that they're worried about. We're there to assist. They can, of course, always contact my office at 914-734-1002 or at my email, lindap@townofcortland.com. And either myself or one of my staff members will get back to you as soon as possible. I was going to say in a timely fashion, but no, we try to do it quickly, as soon as possible, any time of the day. It's so critical. People have questions, they're homebound, they want answers, and we are there, as you are in Peekskill, giving out the information that they so deserve. Let me see what else. I'm walking you through the steps that we've taken over the last 7 to 8 weeks. Toby was talking about the food banks, so critical to our residents, especially seniors. I would think Toby would agree with that, right? People that are disabled that can't get out. That's another part of our population that is important to us to get to assist. We have about 5 or 6 food pantries in our community, and the town board and I decided we're going to contribute $500 each to each one of them to help them provide food. And so we're very happy that we were able to do that. Mental health issues are even more prevalent now during this pandemic, of course, for obvious reasons. People are homebound. They don't know when the end is. Where are we going? When can we get back to the life that we cherish? And so we put up a lot of information and links to mental health agencies and not-for-profits and organizations that can help them. That's so very, very important. I personally am on conference calls daily, weekly, 3 times a week with the county executive, George Latimer. Every municipality, including Peekskill, is on those calls. We get information from the county exec and his staff, and then we have an opportunity to ask our questions. I have found them extremely helpful. And one of the main things is, as I said earlier on in my comments, we're in this together. So you hear what's going on in Somers, in Peekskill, in the Merrimack, in Terrytown, and so you're in it together. We're going to come out of this together, but we have helped each other, and it's been really, really beneficial in my opinion. We also have a supervisors association. There are 19 towns in Westchester County, 45 municipalities, 19 of them are towns, the rest are villages and cities. And we have Zoom, everything is Zoom now. It's a word that was not necessarily in our vocabulary before the pandemic, but it's like a, if not a daily term now, it's an hourly term, right, Vanessa? And then I have department head conference calls every week, if not more. Town board meetings, our town business is proceeding, going forward with our Zoom work sessions and our Zoom official town board meetings where we cast our votes. They're all on Zoom, open to the public, and just like with this program today, people can ask questions and be brought into the discussion. So it's really important to proceed. These are some of the things that we had to decide and learn about how to do it early on. It seems like a lifetime ago, but it's 2 months ago. So it's a new way of doing business. We're going forward with that. So I'm going to say that, you know, one of the tough things for me, because I love our kids, I love our youth, former preschool director myself, mother, grandmother, to have to close basketball courts, playgrounds was very difficult for me personally, but that was an executive order from the governor, county executive, and we did that. Right now, we are in the process of making decisions, as all municipalities are, on what are we going to do with our municipal pools and our summer camps. And right now, there's no definitive answer yet. We're waiting once again for the county and the governor. We all want to be on the same page. And so people listening, that most likely in early May, we'll be making a decision on summer camps, town pool, and that will be either, we probably know that it can't open up on time, which is usually mid-June. It'll either be delayed or not open. So those will be very tough decisions, as Peekskill officials know as well, that we have to make. So many thank yous, and this is really an important part of my comments, and our gratitude goes out to those on the front line. And there are many, many people to thank. If I miss any of them, I apologize, but you're all in my heart. Healthcare providers, we share the great New York Presbyterian Hudson Valley Hospital Center. Stacy Petrower is the president. I speak to her periodically. The doctors, the physicians, the orderlies, the nurses, all the staff of the hospital, they just do wonderful, wonderful work. And other heroes that we have, of course, are our ambulance corps, our fire departments, our police departments, our auxiliary workers, our paramedics, food pantries, food banks, and grocery workers. Can you imagine that the grocery stores weren't open? What would we be doing, right? So they really are doing wonderful work for us. Nursing home staff, postal services, government workers, clergy, so important for their people, and so many others. And so I say, stay safe. We all care. We're there for you. And we will get through this together. There will be light at the tunnel. It is not a cliche. It will happen. And once again, you can reach me at lindap@townofcortland.com, or of course, call my office at 734-1002. And we are there to assist. So once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Town Supervisor Linda Puglisi. We really appreciate you being on this call, and thank you for your truly inspiring words and for being such a great partner to the city, and such a great partner to our neighboring communities. It's so important that we continue to keep communication channels open and continue to work together. It sounds like you're doing a really great job over in Cortland. So we appreciate all the work that you're all doing, and thank you again for joining us. Do we have any questions from folks on the call, folks online?
As far as Facebook goes, I'm not seeing questions. I am seeing about 25 people watching, including our county legislator, Colin Smith.
Oh, great. Hi, Colin.
Hi, Colin. Thanks for joining us virtually.
Can I just add, Colin's been, we have two county legislators in Cortland. We have Colin in the northern part of Cortland and Catherine Borgia in the southern part. And they've both been terrific. Colin and I talk or text each other regularly, so he's been invaluable.
Yes, we definitely miss him on the city council, but I'm sure we know he's doing a really great job on the county level. Yes. We'll have to get him on one of these calls in the coming weeks, so we can definitely connect with him on that. But if there are no other questions, we can go ahead and move forward. Andy, are you seeing anything else? No? All right. Okay, well, thank you, Linda. And I'm sorry, and I also, I should have really thanked Toby as well. I kind of did it, but I want to say that the food bank, Feeding Westchester, has really been a critical part to the ability for so many organizations and so many groups to really distribute food to all the families in need. So thank you for being kind of at the pillar of that, and and doing everything you can to ensure that that demand is being met, and that we're really getting food out to folks who need it the most. So we really appreciate all the hard work you're doing, and of course all the hard work Jonathan's been doing with the senior nutrition program. Really proud of that program, and really proud of how you've stepped up to help a very vulnerable community. So we appreciate all your efforts. So thank you. So next up we have Reverend Phillips from HRH Care. Reverend Phillips, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, good morning. It certainly is a pleasure to be here. And I would give a salute out to Linda as well, realizing that back in the day when we were just Peekskill Area Health Center, how the town of Cortland supported us through those real dire funding days. So Linda, again, thank you for all that you've done then and that you continue to do.
Thank you.
I'd like to just share another piece of good news, if you will, in terms of for some of the stimulus funding that has been coming down the pike, that Hudson River Healthcare has begun to receive some of those funds. We did send a note out to our mayor and city manager and Vanessa as well regarding how you can continue to be advocates of Hudson River Healthcare by making those phone calls or signing off on letters for the advocacy piece that we do for community health centers. So thank you for responding back to that email that was sent, and continue to share that with the community as a whole. This afternoon, we're pleased that we're going to between from 1 to 2, as Andy mentioned earlier, that Hudson River Healthcare will be having its first town hall meeting. We're very pleased to have Dr. Sophia McIntyre, our medical chief of services, who will lead the discussions as we go forward with a lot more detail about COVID-19 and how it's affecting our community and those who look to us to find out some of the answers. So we'll look forward for your being able to join us for that town hall between 1 and 2 this afternoon. I'm just making those remarks brief because I don't know if Ben is on this call as well, but you certainly, when you tune in this afternoon, you'll get a full range of what our services are and some of the questions that you may have in the community regarding COVID-19. That's my piece for right now, Vanessa.
Thank you so much, Reverend Phillips. And I believe Ben Bolton could not be on the phone call this morning. But yes, all the folks watching, please, if you have the ability to do so, tune in today at 1 p.m. For the Health Town Hall being hosted by the mayor and HRH Care. There should be quite a bit of information shared there that is relevant to our, our access to healthcare services currently, and just our well-being overall. So I hope folks can really join that. Do we have any questions for Reverend Phillips?
I just wanted to note that part of the planning process for that town hall, which is really going to be great, is also a follow-up in Spanish. And I know that HRH Cares will be working together on that to make that happen as well.
Yes.
I'm not seeing Facebook questions right now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Reverend Phillips. Next, we have Superintendent David Mauricio from the Peekskill School District.
Good morning, Councilperson and City Manager and everyone from the community here in Peekskill. We want to thank you all for your continued support of our school district, our families, and our students. On behalf of our Board of Education, we've just been working, as all of you have, diligently, evening hours. It's invaded our sleep, our dreams, our weekends, and so it's just a new reality that we are trying to be creative and innovative in the space. And as the Cortland Town Supervisor shared, this virtual reality that we're engaged in is our new normal. It's very different in many ways, but it is something that has made us become very innovative. And so we're appreciative of everyone's support. Just some brief updates thus far in connection with the city leadership, the county leadership, Feeding Westchester, and our own food service staff. We've provided over 50,000 meals to our families since the school closure, and we continue to do so every day at the high school and Oakside as well. And so we're very appreciative of all of our staff, our security, our food service, and our custodial workers who clean the kitchen every day afterwards. So we know how important that is. We have given out over 250 Chromebooks to our 7th through 12th grade students who don't have an appropriate device in their home. And we know that that's a very real reality in the city of Peekskill, not only having appropriate devices, but also access to Wi-Fi as well. And so we're moving into our grades 4 and 5 at Hillcrest, and we'll very soon share out with families how they can get a Chromebook loaner and from our school district, and they will be able to use that as our teachers at that school have done a great job in moving into this virtual learning environment as well. And we'll just continue to go forward from there. I do want to say a big thank you to our PTO, who is donating approximately $16,000 to the school district for MiFi units, so to provide families with access to internet at their home. And also they'll be providing some instructional materials that'll go out to elementary students delivered directly from the company to the home of the child on behalf of the school PTO, our parent-teacher organization. So I just want to say a big thank you to our PTO for stepping up and using their fundraising dollars throughout the year to support our kids as well. Do want to share that we continue to be closed until May 15th, and that is in response to the governor's order. We do believe that will be extended, and so we would need our families to, as the Supervisor Puglisi mentioned, that we're in this for the long haul. We're also looking at our summer programming as well, as to when and where that will start, and also in collaboration with the city's Parks and Recreation Department, the Youth Bureau. Want to work together with them, the Field Library, the Kiley Center, and so we're all kind of waiting with a bated breath on when that decision will be made as we move forward. So, absolutely understanding the realities of health being the primary deciding factor. Want to share with our families that very soon we'll share out an online document. It's an 18-page document that shares every bit of detail from the school district, from our websites in one document. We'll share that out with the city so that you can share that out with our families as well. And it'll have hyperlinks to different learning activities for students by grade level. It'll have all the information about what we've been doing. We just felt, since we're in this for the long haul, that we should put together a document for our families. And so that'll be a one-page document translated in Spanish as well. And lastly, just want to share that on May 6th at Hillcrest, we'll continue our Feeding Westchester food program for our families and community members. And that's at 1 p.m. at Hillcrest Elementary School on May 6th. And so we're excited to receive our families and be able to provide that very important resource to our families as well. And again, a very big thank you to the mayor, Andy Stewart, the council, and all the partners here on this call and abroad for helping us out and helping our families. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mauricio. We really appreciate you being on this call on a weekly basis. I know that it's one of many calls that you're probably on a daily basis. So we really appreciate you taking out the time to communicate to the residents about everything that's happening with our city school district. I actually got a private message with a question from Jenny. She's asking specifically about what services are being offered for the lower grades. Her son is in kindergarten, and she wants to be a bit more clear on what educational services are being offered. Is that all online, or do you want to speak a little bit more on that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you. And two things. One is we have had a lot of parents want access to the instructional packets that we provide. And these are hard copy paper packets that we initially began when we were closed immediately, and then continued that because of the desire from families to have that. But we've also are moving into a virtual environment as well. And so our schools are at Woodside Elementary are moving into a shared, what's called a Google slide. It's using the Google feature. We're using right now Zoom. We use Google Hangout, and we also use Google Classroom. And so that is coming as early as later this week or by Monday. And what it'll be is we'll have reading and writing activities, math activities, science activities, physical education, teachers, art teachers, music teachers. So the full experience that students receive in the school are now going to be on one page, so a parent can go directly to their Google Classroom and see all of the teachers list their assignments for the day. They're uploading videos and all of that work. And so we've been working very closely with our teachers union and our teachers to be able to move that forward. And so that's if it's not already up, that's certainly something that will be up, but the parent can certainly email either Dr. Foster at mfoster@peekskillschools.org or the principal and get further information about her specific child, her specific teacher, and what the actual link is to get access to that. So appreciate the question, and very important for us as we move into that virtual online approach with our elementary kids as well.
Thank you so much.
We have a question from Facebook, if you wouldn't mind, Dr. Mauricio. It is essentially what kinds of plans are afoot for seniors and graduation?
Wonderful question. So we actually have, I'm late for it, so we're postponing the video, but we're doing a virtual town hall for our seniors and their parents, as we did about 2 weeks ago. We're doing another update for them that will be tomorrow at 11 a.m. on our district website. And you can see the live viewing of myself, Mr. Callahan, Principal Arthur. We'll be talking to our seniors about graduation, prom, grades, etc. What I can just very briefly say is that the graduation is something we are all grappling with because it's such a special moment in the lives of our children and families. As a father, my son's graduating from college in May, and I've been looking forward to sitting in that audience, but that's not going to happen. We know that, and so there may be something down the road, or virtual or something of that nature, but we are looking at 5 different opportunities. One is continuing as is if the governor did release that. We're late June. Not sure that that's really a reality. If not, we may be looking at a student senior class only where they're separated 6 feet apart. Parents are viewing online. If we can't do that, we're looking at maybe something on the field with, again, as the Naval Academy did, with only graduates. That's something we're looking at as well. And then the last thing that we are, 2 last things. One is a virtual graduation, which companies are emailing us on a daily basis about that, and that may be a reality. And then lastly, one of my colleagues in a neighboring school district and others are looking at this as well, as a car graduation where the family's in the vehicle, where we take over a large parking lot and we're on the stage and we announce the kid's name and they flash the lights and beep the horn and the student may get out and wave. None of this is what we anticipated, and we're just trying to make it as special as we can with safety and health in mind. But more to come on that. Tune in tomorrow, district website at 11 a.m. and we'll have that virtual senior meeting for our families as well.
Thank you so much. We know it's really tough for all of our students and for all of our teachers in the school district, but especially for our seniors who I'm sure had a completely different senior year in mind a few months back. So I feel for them as well. So thank you for all your hard work in trying to ensure that these moments are as special as they can be given the circumstances. So we appreciate all your efforts towards that.
Thank you.
And are there any other questions from any folks on the phone or?
Just going back, maybe this is a quick one for HRH from Facebook, which is if the podiatry service is seeing patients.
Well, at this point, because of the governor's mandate, we have not been able to open that service back up, and Dr. McIntyre may have more information regarding that when they do the town hall.
Thank you. And related to that, but more general, and this is not an HRH question per se, but a number of people have noted that the data for COVID active cases and isolations and so on is being distributed quite accurately and accessibly in Dutchess County, but in Westchester, the data the community is getting is somewhat more limited, and so there's some frustration with that. We have a Facebook message regarding that. I know that's not an HRH responsibility, but it's healthcare related. I thought I would mention it. The community, of course, is anxious about how many active cases there are and understanding the trends and the questions of testing and other measures that are evolving. And so I know that the health town hall tomorrow, or rather later today, will help to answer some of those questions.
Yes, and you're absolutely right in terms of how the data and the statistics are coming out. So many things they're changing even by moment. So we'll see what can be shared today, and again, just being able to stay tuned into all of the different reports that do come.
Thank you, Reverend Phillips. Next up, we have, let's see. Oh, we have our Director of the Youth Bureau, Tuesday McDonald. Tuesday, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Oh, you're muted. Let me unmute you. There you go.
There we go. Thank you so much for having me, Councilperson Agudelo. It's a pleasure to be on the call today. I want to alert you to two campaigns. Two social media campaigns that we're working on that we're really excited about. The first one is Not All Heroes Wear Capes. And this is an opportunity for us to thank our essential workers who are going above and beyond the call of duty, to those who leave their homes every day, those on the front lines, those who work in the supermarkets, our healthcare providers, our volunteers, and to those who are finding ways to really creative ways to help their neighbors. You are our heroes, and we say thank you. So certainly, this is also on the city's page on Facebook. Please, if you find someone that you know is going above and beyond, place their name there, tag them, and then put hashtag Peekskill Heroes. Because actually they really are going above and beyond. I mean, to see the humanity that is going on is just awesome. And and as a lifelong resident of Peekskill, it makes me just know that Peekskill is a friendly town. I also want to talk about as a team, we're kind of nervous right now about the weather breaking, and our youth and our families, really listening to what the governor's orders in terms of social distancing. So we've actually started a social distancing campaign, and we're really asking, everyone just continue to remind our youth that they really have to either stay home, which is actually the first thing, but we do understand that sometimes people do have to leave their homes, but that social distancing, I go from, my house, to the office, and I'm constantly seeing people outside, not even trying to social distance, no mask, no gloves. So, we've launched this campaign just to remind our youth and families that social distancing really does save lives. I want to talk a little bit about some of the virtual programming that we're having, for our youth and community. We're doing a Fitness with Jerry Monday through Friday from 12:30 to 1. This program encourages physical activity to build strength, coordination, confidence for a healthy lifestyle. And then we're doing something called Boredom Busters, which is a collaborative with youth and their parents. Those are every Friday from 1:30 to 2:30. And then we're doing something called the Wrap Up. Parents sometimes just need an opportunity to speak with parents and just kind of share ideas. It's a platform for them to share and express concerns on COVID-19, and that in any of these flyers, any information the Youth Bureau is doing certainly is on our website. But also, if someone does want to get more information, they can call me at 914-734-4149, or my email tmcdonald@cityofpeekskill.com. I want to also just kind of talk about that, the unknown, right? Which is the uncertainty, which is for everyone. So we're trying to figure out how do we work to get ready for summertime. So we kind of now in 3 ways, I guess, kind of saying, okay, the first thing is, what if they find a vaccine, which, we pretty much know it's not going to happen by summertime. But, do we start on time? Our summer program is supposed to start the Monday after 4th of July, right? So that's probably out of the question. So then if it's delayed, and like, what does social distancing look like? If you're talking about, we have a program that normally has 75 to 85 youth at the Peekskill Youth Bureau. So what does social distancing look like for a summer program? And then the third option that we're trying to work around is if the governor does not open, and what does a virtual summer program, summer camp look like? So we kind of have our hands full in terms of how do we, work through this. But certainly what we are doing, we're trying to be as prepared as we can. As Dr. Mauricio said earlier, we certainly continue to work with the school district and all of our other partners to try to kind of really put our heads together to see what does the summer look like for our youth just in case things don't go the way that we absolutely all planned. I also want to talk about something else that a retired nurse brought to my attention. Her name is Dorita Taylor, and she's in the hospital because she's retired and certainly helping out. And she's saying that a lot of people coming to the hospital may not have family. So she wanted to work with me on trying to have like a card drive where we have our youth make cards at home, and then we have these cards delivered to the hospital. So more to come on that, but I wanted to put that out there because I know that there are people who are home looking for things to do. Some people are not able to leave their home and put their mask on and their gloves and go and volunteer and help. So certainly I'll put that out. Councilperson, I'll probably work with you on something like this because I know that you certainly are always helping in the community. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was not only programming for our young students, but also for our high school students. We have a program called Project Elevate My Magic Meeting. It's an opportunity on Mondays at 7 p.m. for youth to come together with our team members about things about mediation, motivation, and mentorship. And then the absolute last thing is Healing Forward, the initiative that we started. We were able to have a really great meeting last Friday with Pat White from the Department of Mental Health. So I'll be laying that out because that was like the key person that I wanted certainly to meet with. And that was a great meeting. She had some great ideas on how we continue to help not only our youth, but our families as well. Thank you so much for this time.
Thank you so much, Ms. McDonald, for your creativity during this time, this very complicated, troublesome time. I know that the task you have ahead is not an easy one. It's extremely difficult. I do not envy you, but we really appreciate your thoughtfulness and trying to provide ways in which the youth can engage even from home. So
Thank you.
it's going to be a hard summer for sure. So we're really glad to have you on the team so we can figure it out. But it won't be easy, and that's understandable. Is there any questions from anyone on the phone?
None on Facebook right now, thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks again, Ms. McDonald. Next up, we have Dora from Voces Latinas de Westchester. Dora, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Vanessa, for inviting me. Well, we are providing over 100 people food during the last 4 weeks. We have more than 170 families. We try to do twice a week because we don't have a lot. Some nonprofit organizations, they are sharing with us the food, so we try to bring. But I'd like to say thank you, Dr. Mauricio. He is helping a lot, and I have 13 towns which are providing food. We have families, Spanish families in different towns. We have around 50 families in Peekskill. So that's why I want to say thank you, Dr. Mauricio, for help every day for the families in Peekskill. These families, they have health problems, so they're not allowed to go out. We are putting in the bag a mask, but I do like you ask guys if I can have some printed information in Spanish, because all the time we are talking about social distance, but most people, they are not understand, and we have to keep, reminding every day, every hour as possible. So if we can have some printed information, we can put in the bags together with the masks, so the people don't have to remind, and they are going to read what's the message if they go out. We are doing videos with Vanessa and other 7 community leaders from CNN and Peekskill to remind our community they need to wear a mask when they go out, they need to wear gloves, and we are reminding, make a shopping list so you don't have to go twice again outside. We trying to push more and remind the people how important are for our community and how they need to take care by themselves, because we can't expect the government to do all the job. We need to do our part. So that's why we are reminded. And when I go out and deliver the food for these families, I ask them how they're doing, what they're doing at home. So cleaning up, disinfecting the homes. Don't go out. You have COVID, stay home, call me if they need something. I give all these families my number. So I have around 12 volunteers also. We are having every day food for these families. So I'm checking how they're doing, because we don't want these families, if COVID come out. Most families, they don't have a mask. I submit my application for food feeding Westchester, but I didn't get any answer yet. I was trying to talk with Toby, but he left already. But I'd like to try to reach him in different ways, because I don't get the food directly from Feeding Westchester. I'm saying church are sharing me, the Peekskill School District, they're sharing me. One community center in New Rochelle, also they share food with us, but we still need it. For today, we have around 60 families, not people, families. In these families, they have 4, 6, 7 members. And just today, I got the list from volunteers in Sleepy Hollow. Usually, they was sharing food with another seniors, but this time is danger for them to come out and get it. Also, they don't have money for buy food, so they give it to us, the list of our seniors. So we expecting at least another 90 people, at least 90. So my list is increasing every day. So I do ask for some help. Please, if you know any organization could help me with providing food. We have some volunteers from Carmel. They cook 50 meals every Tuesday. There are families, 2 families in Carmel. So every Tuesday they are providing for the last 2 weeks. They keep doing. We have some restaurants in Yorktown also. One of the church in Yorktown share food with us. They're going to share next Saturday. But this family, they can't go, they can't wait for the next Saturday for the food. They need food right away. And they still, with health problems. It's safer for us if we keep it supporting these families in their houses. Because if they don't have food, somebody has to come out, and they're not in good conditions to come out. Another problem, I say they don't have masks. I was trying to reach yesterday Andrew Mayor. He offered some masks. I couldn't reach yesterday, but I still need the masks to put in the bags and give it these families to start learning to use it, to be comforted to use it, to remind to using it. Thank you again for your time. Thank you for letting me be a part of your meeting. Vanessa, and all you for you listen to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dora, for everything that you're doing to help our Latino families here in Peekskill and the wider community in our neighboring communities, neighboring municipalities. We really appreciate all the hard work you've been doing to ensure that they are getting the food and the resources they need, especially in a time where moving around is very limited. People being able to go out and get groceries, and after losing their jobs, it's a huge hardship. So we know that the need for food is great here in Peekskill and in the surrounding areas. And with that being said, I do want to use this platform to let our businesses know, and I know that our businesses are also in a really hard place, but if there is ever food that can be donated, please feel free to reach out to Dora. We want to make sure that no food is going to waste. There are definitely families in need. Dora, did you give your phone number for people to reach you?
Yeah, 914-334-0656. Also, you took something very important: don't waste the food. So when I go out, I get canned food. I ask some people, if they eat that kind of products, and no, so I can give it to somebody else who like to use it. Also, I did 2 weeks ago on a video to teach my community how to use some of the canned products, or how to use it when they come in the boxes with the powder for muffins. I did video in my kitchen to show the people how prepare, because we don't want the food be wasted. We don't want the people throw it. So I'm checking like for communities, Central America, like a tortilla, so I can give it tortilla. So I don't want to give it tortilla somebody who's gonna throw it. So, and also I check with Diana Loja from Westchester County, the list of the products, which better. For example, a pound of beans, it costs $1.25, something like that, $2. And a can of soup, it costs almost similar. Which is more usable? Dry beans. For our community, if they use more dry beans, they can make a soup, they can make a like a minestrone, whatever. They can give it more types to use it than a can of food, the soup. And it's almost the same price. They're not too much different. So my suggestion is try to little bit check the list, because I see in different places cans of food throw it. We don't want to throw the food. We don't want the people throw it. We don't want the community or the government waste money for nothing, and we don't have it. We don't want tomorrow have a hungry people. I like to, I share with Dana Loja a list of the products, so she shared with Feeding Westchester. Try to consider those points, please. And thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much, Dora, and thank you so much for touching on the cultural barrier there, because I think that's also, when we talk about food, that's something very important to consider, is that culturally we're all used to eating different things depending on what cuisine we're used to. So thank you for trying to bridge that gap within the Latino community, because we're not monolithic, right? There's so many of us from South America and Central America and so many different cuisines. So thank you so much for your education in that regard. It's really deeply appreciated. And for those watching at home, please visit Voces Latinas de Westchester on Facebook page. Dora hosts, I think, weekly radio shows has really great panelists. So if you aren't following that page, please do so. You really put out a lot of great content and information.
Vanessa, can I ask a question? It's Deputy Mayor McKenzie.
Absolutely.
A question in the Latina community. Is there any kind of setup for, say, for instance, I ran across this recently, and it's really tragic, but families that are here who have children, and maybe there's only one adult and the parent is sick, and we have minor children who have absolutely no one to help them maneuver this. I have a case right now where I'm working with two kids who are 15 and 16. Their mother's in the hospital on a respirator. And I'm working through translators, but I'm trying to find someone in the community because I don't know how to even make contact back at home for them, in case something should happen. So is there any direction in the community of where we can go with instances like that? And I'm sure that this is not the only case.
We didn't, usually some social workers, church, when they know cases, something like that, they give me all the information. So we call them every day. We bring meals prepared already so they can have it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have it, you can send the information and the address, if you have the address, so we can take care then and see how, follow them.
Okay, I'll send that information to you. I mean, I'm currently I've gotten them set up, so I think they're okay. But just in terms of emotional support and things like that, I mean, these are babies.
When I'm doing with those cases, I call sometimes, and I check how they're doing. We have some social help, emotional help from church. So also the Father Esteban help support these families, these kids. But I'm trying to talk as a mom because I'm a mom too, and so I understand they feeling, scary. What's going to happen with my mom? I'm trying to explain all these situations in our language, and I'm trying to bring something they can like it. Because like rice and beans, and make them more feeling okay. It's going to be okay. It's a very tough situation.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, this is Reverend Phillips. I also want to add to your list, Dora, to make contact with Hudson River Healthcare. We have Comité Latino that those staffers would be willing to give any support that they can as well.
Also, we are working with Mrs. Maria Flores from the school district in Peekskill. We was talking this morning about another case, young mother, she is using drugs, and this time she's so afraid of the situation, and she had a boy 5 years old, and so who's take care of the little boy? So we was talking with her this morning about this type of cases, and when the children need more help, emotional, food, somebody watch them. So we work together also. I believe what Supervisor Cortland Townsend, Miss Linda, work together. I believe that. And that's why when the people say, do you work only for Peekskill? I say, no, I live in Nassau, but what I say, I have in my list 13 towns. I provide food from Spring Valley, Garrison, Nassau, and Peekskill, all these towns. So I did the last year, Vanessa knows, Premise Awards Hanami, that's involved 15 community leaders all Westchester. So I believe if we came together, we can do more for our communities and we can support each other. That's my vision, like you say.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dora. And I also, since we are on the food distribution front, I also, because I know that Cynthia from CHOP wanted me to mention that it does seem like supplies are low. She mentioned that they spent over $2,000 last week on meat because they could not procure enough for the 500 individuals that came to Fred Pantries Fred Pantries last week as well. So there is a really big demand, and we want folks to know that a lot of the food that's being distributed is not being it's not being gathered free, right? A lot of these organizations have to actually purchase a lot of produce, a lot of meats, because we're seeing the demand grow more and more every day. So if there's anyone that can help make donations, or help find other resources for food for these organizations like CHOP, like Voces Latinas de Westchester, like Peekskill Community Corporation, or Peekskill Hispanic Community Corporation. That's definitely something we want to be doing, and we want to work hard to see how we can get folks more resources. Andy, I know last week we talked about trying to get everyone on a phone call. CHOP, Peekskill Hispanic Community Coalition, all the folks that are doing food distribution, Rotary, just to see if we can somehow streamline it, have one form of contact, so that way if there is food donations, it can go in a place where it's needed, and we can figure out what the need actually is. Hopefully that's something that we can go ahead and work on soon.
Just to clarify on that, the Jonathan Zamora has been operating as the liaison to Feeding Westchester for virtually anybody who contacts him, to provide that relationship and coordination and the support and experience that he and the longstanding groups like Fred's Pantry can offer. So that the coordination and the access to information is available through Jonathan, and I know that he speaks regularly with various groups who are involved in food distribution, to always looking for ways to make it more efficient, to have a division of labor that makes sense, and to get people the resources that are available.
Right, definitely. Thank you, Andy. And really, any organization who wants to mobilize additional foods, reach out to me in my office specifically. We've had a long-standing relationship with Feeding Westchester, and in our role as a municipality, we have the ability to place orders and to be in the direct contact with people who can make decisions. And as long as we know what the demand is and what we anticipate the demand to be, but also we understand that organizations and transportation are kind of finite resources. So being creative and sort of working together and collaborating is critical to getting everyone the food that they need in a timely manner. So anyone who is looking to distribute food additionally, please reach out to my office at 914-734-4250, extension 2, and also through email at jzamora, ZAMORA, at cityofpeekskill.com.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. And perhaps maybe you and I can chat offline, and we can schedule time for us to get all the folks who are working on food distribution on a call. I think this has been an ask that's been made by a number of different individuals, just to have kind of further, not just coordination, but collaboration, and have kind of everyone on a call so we can really talk about the needs and scheduling and figure out, how to be a bit more, not to say that we're not being effective now, but the demand is only going to grow. So the more that we're communicating with each other, the better. So maybe that's something that we can plan for the coming week.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Are there any other questions for Dora online, or anyone? Nope. Okay, so last but not least, and this has been a really long call, so thank you all so much for hanging in there. We have our Assistant Fire Chief, John Kelly, from the Peekskill Fire Department. Chief Kelly, thank you so much for being with us today. Oh, and you're on mute. Let me unmute you. You might have to unmute. Oh, there you go.
Here we go. All right. Well, good morning all, and I'm humbled to be on with such a great group of individuals really working hard to serve the Peekskill Cortland area. And just to give a little background on what we've been doing here with the Peekskill Fire Department, first of all, just for informational purposes, people may not be aware, but we're a combination department. So we're very blessed having both career and volunteer staff, which allows us to meet minimum staffing requirements and 24/7 service, which some of our sister communities are all volunteer or unable to provide. We also have some very close relationships with Town of Cortland Fire Departments in mutual aid agreements. So we are very blessed here in Peekskill to have sufficient background and services to meet all the needs that we have from a fire services department. We've been taking very essential steps to protect our force. We've rescheduled our career staff so that we can minimize exposure. We've limited access to the volunteers to the firehouse, and they are spread out throughout the city. So we've really mitigated the opportunity where we might have exposure with both our career and volunteer firefighters, which has allowed us really to maintain our strength and numbers. Additionally, we've implemented new procedures to protect our people with special requirements for decontamination and sanitizing all our firefighting equipment. So whatever we use on the scene, we have new procedures in place to clean and sanitize them once it is returned to the fire station. We've also been working very closely with our legislator, Colin Smith, in the Westchester County Emergency Operations Center to receive additional PPE. We were a little ahead of the curve here at Peekskill. We saw this coming, so we were able to purchase sufficient supplies. But as you might expect, we go through them rather rapidly. And so we've been working very closely with the county to replenish those supplies. We've also, thanks to Deputy Chief Pappas in our fire department, built our own UVC chamber so we can sanitize our N95 masks and expand the use of them. So we're able to now to sanitize them up to 10 instances. So that at least has mitigated the need for the constant overhaul. And as we all know, it's very difficult to get all these types of materials at this time. We've also, which is very near and dear to my heart as a trained school administrator, we've expanded our online training, particularly for the volunteer staff who are unable to visit the firehouse. So we've mandated additional courses, online training courses. We're in a process of converting some of our in-person classes to online training. We're also providing them certificate programs. This is also available to our career staff. So we're trying to keep our staff and their skill sets at the level necessary to maintain that readiness that we need. So we're very excited about expanding those opportunities for all our firefighters. And we're asking residents to be conscious of the fact that they should be checking their fire and smoke detectors, making sure the batteries are new within the last 6 months. Check their CO detectors. If they're close to 10 years in age, they should be replaced. And certainly, if anyone has any questions or needs advice, you can call our general number at the firehouse. It's 737-2760. That's 737-2760. Always in an emergency, dial 911. That's the quickest way to get us. We cannot self-dispatch. So there are times we do get calls there, then we have to call the county in order to send us out. So that's just a process. It'll expedite the process for you. If you have any questions for me, feel free to drop me an email at jkelly@cityofpeekskill.com. That's jkelly@cityofpeekskill.com. And we're always here, and we're excited about the opportunity to always be out there and protect the residents and their property. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Assistant Chief Kelly. And thank you to you, the fire department, all of our first responders for doing everything they can to continue to keep our community safe, even during this pandemic. I know it's really, really hard for folks who have to go out into the world every day and go to work, and especially for our first responders. So we truly, deeply appreciate all the work that you're doing, and thank you on behalf of the city.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions from any folks on the call?
I do have. Mr. Kelly, is anybody in your department who speaks Spanish who can provide all the information? What do you say? Because like Vanessa told you guys, I have the page on Facebook, Voces Latinas, and I have always somebody invited to provide information to our community in Spanish. So if you have someone who can, your information is very important. But most my community doesn't speak English, so they have houses, they live in apartments and everything, but don't know or what are you talking?
That's a very good question. We do have both career and volunteer staff. We made a concerted effort over the last year to reach out to the Spanish-speaking population. We've been very successful. We've had a great response. So we have larger numbers, as you might expect, in the volunteer side of the department that speak Spanish, some of whom are recent immigrants from various areas of Central and South America. So we do that frequently. We're able to translate at every site. People come to the firehouse. They're very open. So we're able to meet that need. And we can send people out. If there's any community events, we can send, we both have career and volunteer firefighters that are fluent in Spanish that can go out and meet community groups and address any concerns that might be there.
But now we can do like now we are doing the virtual life. So we can, if you can share your contacts so with me, or you can give it the number to somebody who speaks Spanish, we can coordinate and I can do a Facebook Live and the community can understand more about what you say.
Very good. We can do that.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
After this call, I'll go ahead and put Dora and Chief Kelly on an email so you can coordinate. I'm sure they'd be happy to get a fireman on a Zoom call to talk, to give some of the updates that he gave in Spanish. I think that's a very worthwhile effort. Thank you so much for thinking of that. Are there any other questions? Okay, hearing no other questions, that is it for our agenda. So I just want to thank all of our panelists today for hopping on this call, for sticking around for the last hour and a half. I know it was a long call, but there was a lot of really great information shared today, and we appreciate all the hard work you're doing on behalf of our community to keep us safe, to keep us informed, to keep us healthy and engaged. We really appreciate all the work you're doing. To all the folks who are watching at home, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for sharing this video. Just a quick reminder again, as we finish up all of these calls, with a reminder that, again, if you want to get the most up-to-date information as to the response on the coronavirus by the City of Peekskill, please go on our city website, www.cityofpeekskill.com. Continue to follow public health. Continue to follow public health guidance and continue, including frequent hand washing and social distancing, to help slow the spread of the virus and enable medical services to meet the growing demand. Please, if you're going out in public, please wear a mask. If you do not have a mask, whether it's a cloth mask or a medical mask, let one of us know, let me know. I know that the Bean Runner is open on a daily basis, and they're also handing out free masks for anyone who drops by. There's a number of other individuals who are also working on making masks. We really want this to be just kind of second nature. If you're going out, you got your wallet, you got your cell phone, you got your mask. You know, you want to make sure everyone is doing their part. These are really crazy times, and we're seeing how interconnected we all are. Your actions do not only affect you, but the people around you and the people around them. And more we are learning that we cannot be selfish. We must think of others to protect all of us, and because we really are in this together, and we really do need to recognize that the bigger picture is, if we're hurting others, we're hurting ourselves. So thank you all so much for everything you're doing to continue the effort and working together and collaborating, and continuing to keep this positive and doing what we can to meet the growing needs. It's not easy for any of us, but I'm really proud of the job that we're all doing. So thanks again for being on this call, and I hope you all have a lovely Thursday.
Thank
Have
you.
a great week, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
You as well.